Ziele anvisieren, wie beim Fernrohr an der Gang fixieren. Kaltblütig wie Amphibien in Transsibirien. Die Wege sind nie leicht und gerade sie sind Schlangenlinien. Immer Kräfte messen wie bei Automaten Punching. Verstand scharf wie ein riesiges Rambo-Messer. Denn im Dschungel sind Hyänen keine friedlichen Pflanzenfresser. Klarer Kopf auch kein Weed mehr wie andere Rapper. Denn ist das Gras weg, dann sieht man die Schlange besser. Die ganzen Partys und das sinnlose Gefeier hab ich irgendwann auf Eis gelegt wie Pinguine Eier. Weil ich beide killen muss in dieser Industrie von Neider. Mann, ich bringe sie zum Schein wie ein Hindu-Tempelmeister. Liebe rein und Feier wie bei einem blühenden Brandmal. Ich mach türkische Kangals per Würgegriff handklar. Leben ist wie Poker, ist egal was du für Karten hast. Es kommt drauf an, was du aus den Karten machst. Immer noch fokussiert mit Tunnelblick. An der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in dich. Fame und Money stellen mein Segel sogar nicht. An der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in sich. Sakrileg, Sakrileg. An der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in sich. Sakrileg, Sakrileg. An der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in sich. Oben sitzen Reiche in mehrstöckigen Bankkomplexen. Unten ist brutaler Fight wie fernöstliche Kampfsporttechnik. So ist die Welt. Oben ein paar hundert Unterdrücker und unten circa 6 Milliarden Unterdrücker. Kopf kaputt wie auf Picasso-Gemälden. Gelbe Briefe erschlagen von Inkasso-Beträgen. Ich kenn das, hast du Existenzangst, fühlt sich jeder Tag an wie der Motherfucking Endkampf. Aber Bruder, denk dran, wenn das Feuer entflammt, siehst du in der grauen Zementwand den Rembrandt. Denn ein Adler, der auf einem Ast sitzt, kann sein Flügel vertrauen, wenn er zweimal abbricht. Ja, das Leben eines Mannes heißt bis zum Ende Krieg. Kämpfen, siegen, kämpfen, siegen, kämpfen, siegen. Nicht für Geld und Champion-Titel, nicht, dass uns die Menschen lieben, sondern für die Ehre, Gott und die Legacy. Meine Family ist eine Mannschaft, standhaft. Selbst wenn sie uns in die Enge trieben, wie in Grenzgebieten. Niemals hast du Panik, ich weiß, dass Mama stark ist. Auch wenn Felix vor dem Sturm steht, Alter, stark ist. Immer noch fokussiert mit Tunnelblick. An der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in sich. Fame und Money stellen mein Sieg ist oder nicht. An der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in sich. Yeah. Sakrileg, Sakrileg, an der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in sich. Sakrileg, Sakrileg, an der Spitze zu stehen ist ein Widerspruch in sich. Die Welt ist kalt wie ein Eisberger. Ich box mich durch das Leid und Drama. Box mich durch wie Unglück auf eine Teilungsskala Sayonara. Bis ich über allem schwebe wie ein Weißkopfadler. Sakrileg, Sakrileg. Kollege der Boss, Alpha Gang, 2019, Alpha Empire. Es ist Frühling, ich geh raus, meine goldene Kette glänzt in den ersten Sonnenstrahlen, wie die Wolken durchbrechen, wie schnell die Jahre vergehen, wie sich die Zahnräder drehen. Leben rast vorbei wie Bond im Aston Martin Coupé, Fick auf Charts oder Fame. Dieses Spiel ist trügerisch, wirst du müde, weil das Bild auf die stabilste Psyche fickt. Wenn dein Team voll Lügnern ist, doch ich bereite dem mein Ende. Ja, die Zeichen stehen auf Wände, so wie Hieroglyphenschrift. Denn die Arktis im Innern besiegt, nur wer den Sinn darin sieht, was in der Finsternis liegt. Weil der Tödlichkeit des See, der im Winter gefriert, im blühenden Frühling wieder als Trinkwasser dient. Wie langsam schwindende Eisschicht, die längst vergessenen Glanz im Inneren freikippt. Sonnenschein erhellt vor mir die Straße, was welkte ist wieder da, die Welt kriegt wieder Farbe. Und ich wollte nur hier raus, um jeden Preis. Puschte mich ans Limit, eines Tages bist du frei. Jetzt hab ich es geschafft, und was hat es mir gebracht? Was hab ich eingetauscht für bisschen Geld und Macht? Ich hab genug gesehen, hab genug erlebt, hab die lange Nacht der Seele überlebt. Ich bin gefallen, doch ich steh, der Wind dreht und es ist Frühling. Es ist Frühling, ich geh raus, spür den Sonnenschein, der sich durch die geschlossen bleiche Schicht dichter Wolkenschleier bricht und mit seinem goldet-weißen Licht auf den verkrummten Felgen meiner mit Morgenreif beschichteten Porsche-Reifen blitzt. Die Zeit war sorgenreich für mich und von Kälte sehr geprägt. Doch das ist wohl so in dieser Welt, in der ich lebe. Doch eher nehme ich mir das Leben mit dem Lauf meiner Tag, als das für euch eine Träne meine Augen verlässt. Sie erklären, sie werden da sein, doch die Lehre jedes Mal bleibt. Sie wollen dich brechen wegen Geld als Rest und Sparschwein. Nerven wie aus Draht sein, im Herzen wieder stark sein. Irgendwann kehrt trotz all der Schwärze wieder Tag ein. Wenn das Grauen der Nacht, egal wie finster es wird, löst sich in Luft auf, wenn das Licht es berührt. Wie ein Vampir, ich kann sehen, wie alles miteinander interagiert. Dass alles wieder lebt, was irgendwann stirbt, was auch immer passiert. Ich komme als Angst zurück, wie die Vögel, die den Himmel grazieren aus ihrem Winterquartier. Wie lange bin ich noch hier? Keine Ahnung, neuer Frühling, neuer Zyklus, der mein Schicksal entwirft. Und ich wollte nur hier raus, um jeden Preis. Pushte mich ans Limit, eines Tages bist du frei. Jetzt hab ich es geschafft, und was hat es mir gebracht? Was hab ich eingetauscht für ein bisschen Geld und Macht? Ich hab genug gesehen, hab genug erlebt. Hab die lange Nacht der Seele überlebt. Ich bin gefallen, doch ich steh, der Wind dreht und es ist Frühling. Und ich wollte nur hier raus, um jeden Preis. Pushte mich ans Limit, eines Tages bist du frei. Und jetzt hab ich es geschafft. Und was hat es mir gebracht? Was hab ich eingetauscht für ein bisschen Geld und Macht? Ich hab genug gesehen, hab genug erlebt. Hab die lange Nacht der Seele überlebt. Ich bin gefallen, doch ich steh, der Wind dreht und es ist Frühling.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Good evening, good morning, wherever the fuck you are. I don't know. All right. So, yeah, welcome to this live stream, the last live stream this week. So, we got a couple of things to talk about, right? Number one, tomorrow is the beginning of the afterlife path working. If you have any chance of being on there, make sure that you make it, because this is a one in a lifetime chance. All right, it's never going to come back. You're not going to be able to buy recordings if you have not been on there. Now, of course, anyone who's who is an attendant on that live stream, of course, is going to get a recording. Absolutely. And something's going on with the live chat here, man. Top chats. Fucking YouTube. Give me 1 second. All right. Okay, so I have a couple of things that I want to talk about, but if you got other questions that you want to throw out first and you want them answered, please go ahead and ask those questions. I will do my best to give you a good answer, right? And on top of that, I'm going to talk about the things that I think are important. What's goody, Frank? How's it going? Producciones says, good to see you, my friend. Welcome, glad you're here. Hey, Frank, create the reality for yourself and be honest with your women you meet. Hold on. Create the reality for yourself and be honest with your women you meet. Make them love you, then say what you want or say what you did in the past before. I'm pretty sure Frank would agree. At least that's how I did it, and was ready to leave if she didn't want to accept me. I don't see the question or the comment that was made here, to which this comment by Happy is the answer. So, Aaron, if you could post that question again, that would be very helpful. At least that's how I did it, and was ready to leave if she didn't want to accept me. What would you like to talk about, Frank? You got pretty clever topics on your live streams. Yeah. He asked, how do women allow you to be with others? First of all, a woman doesn't allow you things. That's the wrong frame. You have the wrong frame, my friend. A woman can't allow you something. You are a man, after all, right? You're the man, aren't you? She's your woman. She's your woman. Okay. And in spite of what they will tell you, and a lot of them will deny what I'm about to say. Um, I tell you what, in most cultures on this planet, except for, you know, maybe Western culture, which is a culture in decline anyways, and for all of history, in all cultures, all over the world, I'm talking about anywhere and everywhere, a woman would not have a title, if that makes sense. Or rather, let me put it like this: she would not be a woman. She would be, she's so and so's wife, she's so and so's daughter, she's so and so's, um, you know, so and so's mother. All right. Now, what I'm trying to say is essentially, if a woman, if your woman is supposed to allow you something, you have a completely wrong mindset. You do whatever you want. Now, okay, maybe I gotta add something to that. But at the end of the day, you're a man. Okay. See, this is the problem. There are no men. No, like people don't even understand what it means to be a man anymore. What happens? You're a man. You know what that means? It's one of the greatest honors in life to be a grown, fully acknowledged and accepted man. A man that is accepted into his manhood. Why is that important? Because men create things, men build things, and men protect things. If you are a real man, a grown man, a wise man, you are one of the most valuable, you know, commodities or parts of the tribe. You see, but the problem is we have a whole lot of boys, a lot of guys that should be men. They act like they're boys. I don't know how old you are, but as a grown man, a woman, your woman, is not there to forbid you things. Oh, please allow me this, allow me that. This is ridiculous, my friend. This is a completely wrong frame. If you're a man, there's absolutely no one on this planet. There's no man on this planet, never mind a woman, that forbids me things. You're fucking kidding me. This is ridiculous. I mean, seriously. Number two, this is exactly the mindset that most women want. A lot of women will deny that. They will like, no, no, no. I want to have the control in the relationship. No, they won't. I, they will want to have the control in the relationship until they meet a real man. Yeah. What is a real man? A real man is not somebody that just does whatever he wants and sleeps around. A man is a man because he has responsibility and he's actually powerful. Okay. So as a man, you have certain privileges because you also have certain responsibilities. They're one and the same thing. Responsibility and freedom to do certain things come hand in hand. So a woman shouldn't be okay with you doing that, or she shouldn't even be with you unless you do your job as a man. If you are a good provider, she has nothing to worry about. You take care of everything. You're you protect her. All of these things. If that is taken care of, it is your right to have your fun. And fun in this case means you just, have other women. You get what I mean? So this mindset of having her allow you anything is just wrong. But you got to be a man worthy of that. You got to be a man worthy of that. And that's the trouble. That's the difficult thing. Being a man, a valuable man, is probably one of the hardest things that you can do in this life. It is the most difficult role to play of all of them. It's the most competitive place to be. You will be constantly attacked. You will be constantly under pressure. You will have to work all the fucking time on maintaining that, right? But it is worth it. But few people can do it. And that's why you have to earn it. That's why not everybody can do that. Listen, When I get into a relationship with a woman, there's no allowing me to do things and allowing me to do that. I do what I want. She comes into my world. She enters my frame. I control the frame. And by the way, she's treated very, 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 very well. She has nothing to worry about. Everything is taken care of. She's protected and everything. But it is my world. It is my life. It is my life that I've created for myself, and she enters it. So, by the way, I think most of you guys shouldn't even think about women. Why do you want women? You're wasting your potential. You're wasting your potential. You know what you could do with all this energy that you got? You could create an empire for yourself. You could make millions of dollars and create like big businesses. But instead you're trying to fuck around with some hoes, some sixes and sevens that don't mean anything. So all of you guys, I believe most of you guys shouldn't even think about having multiple women. As if that's the end goal, as if that's something important. There are way more important things than casual sex in this world, okay? There's something called legacy. There's something called building something for your children, something that you can leave behind. So you have to understand that every woman costs you energy. Every woman costs you energy. So where do you put that energy? Do you put that into sex so you could be validated, or do you use that energy to build something? You see what I mean? If I was most of you guys, I would not think about women. Do no fap and just start working on something and see what happens within a year. You know, see what happens within a year with all this energy that you save, all this money that you save, all this headache that you save. Listen, women are costly. I have never been in a single relationship or ever heard of a single relationship between man and woman where the man was not being drained by the woman. That's what they do. They drain you. They're costly in terms of energy, they're costly in terms of emotional force. Because women are emotionally chaotic. And when you're in a relationship, you're everything. You're a psychologist, your daddy, you're everything. You take on that role, and they will come to you with every single fucking problem. Oh, blah, 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 blah. They have so many problems, man. They're so emotional, such emotional creatures, which makes them beautiful on the one hand, but they make them a liability on the other hand. And you got to be able to afford that liability. You get it? Now, you got two choices, my friends. You got two choices. Either you put all of this energy and look for hoes that are easy and have fun with them, meaningless sex, and waste your energy, or you take your energy and put it into something meaningful, create a real empire for yourself, and then you bring in the queen, because an empire or a kingdom needs a queen too. But you're not going to get the queen unless you have a kingdom first. You see what I mean? So I believe you should work on yourself instead of worrying about how to get multiple women. It's not worth it, bro. Trust me. It's not as cool as it sounds. Oh, I've had sex with multiple women, or I've had multiple girlfriends. I've had that. It's not that great, to be honest. It's not the coolest thing in the world, because what you're actually sacrificing is your potential, which is way more painful. You know, the pleasure from having multiple women is not worth it. Okay, it's not worth sacrificing your potential, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so work on yourself rather than that. I wonder what's your opinion on Andrew Tate. Also, do you plan on share your content on TikTok, Frank? Life coaching one, no. My opinion on Andrew Tate. Listen, I learned about Andrew Tate right before he got banned, like a week before that. Um, as far as I could watch that, or watch what he had to say, he makes sense. So he sounds like a man, like a guy, you know. But but I don't really know that much about what he teaches or what he talks about. I just know that he got into trouble with the authorities, which is very easy to do. I mean, he's basically just a guy, a real man, and he got in trouble for what he was saying. And other than that, he's not the first. He's not going to be the last. Similar to what Trump went through. Right? I mean, Trump was a real man, right? So, I mean, it is clear. It's clear that masculinity is under attack. All right. I mean, everybody realizes that by now. If you're a man, you're going to be under attack in the society, and that's fine. Let this fucking thing all go to hell because it will. And if you don't have an exit plan, if you don't understand that in the next 20 years we're going to go, or sorry, not in the next 20 years, we're already entering really, really bad times. America is going to be very, very, not just America, the Western world is going to be in a very, very bad place in the next couple of years. So unless you are working on escaping that, or unless you are working on an escape plan, and you're preparing for the next decades on how to benefit from all of this, you're making a big mistake. See, if you're chasing pussy instead of building something that will support you during those hard times, you're making a mistake. Yeah. No, I'm not going to put that on TikTok. What are the biggest problems humankind will face in the future and how we can prepare for them? Um, Soil erosion, which is going to bring about food shortage. Now, biotechnology is catching up, or is working on creating, you know, augmentation to that, or alternatives. But I don't know if the technology is gonna be developed fast enough. Plus, there are, of course, lots of economic interests that will slow down the implementation of those technologies. Yeah. So, alternative, or sorry, um, I think it's called alternative meat or something like that. Different types of grains that are going to be introduced. I mean, at the end of the day, food supply, the basic necessities, drinking water is going to be a problem. Yeah. There are going to be wars fought over drinking water. Mark my word. There will be actual wars. Um, Population decline. We're going to have a massive problem with too few people on this planet. Why is that even a problem? Because if you want to support an aging population, you need young people that are capable of producing things, maintaining the economic power, in a country. This is one of the main reasons why Europe is being flooded with immigrants. You see, I mean, I don't know if you are aware of that, but Europe in 2022 is a different continent from looking back to the year 2002 or even 2012. A lot of countries, including many of those countries. I don't want to name names here, but pretty much all Western European countries are way. They look different. The population looks different. Way more diversity. Way, like, it's a different look. The average person looks way different than before, and the reason for that is there has been a massive influx of immigrants, and the reason for that is that people here didn't have children. These populations are dying out, so they brought in immigrants to try to prevent the population collapse. You know, because if there's a population collapse, nobody's there to maintain the economy, and the aging population, which Europe is an aging continent, a very old continent. Somebody's got to take care of those people, and that's why they brought in immigrants, because they can work. It's an experiment. Now, of course, that gives a lot of racists and right wingers a lot of ammunition, where they're talking about the great replacement and all that stuff, right? Oh, the Jews want to replace your no, it's not about that. It's simply the economies can't maintain themselves. You think they just let people in there based on the out of the goodness of their heart? This is retarded. The color it benefits the countries if they let immigrants in. You know, who's gonna pay the retire? Who's gonna take care of the healthcare system? Healthcare system takes money. If you bring people in that work, even if they're locally qualified, you have manpower. What if they didn't bring people in? Nobody would be able to take care of them. You see, so that gives a lot of people ammunition, such as people like Happy who talk about the Kalergi plan and all these other things. But at the end of the day, nothing happens just out of the goodness of people's heart. Or this is not the agenda. Let's talk about something else. Okay. They don't understand how to be a man because of a lack of strong dads and strong men in their environment. I'm not yet there, but I had to learn a lot myself, mostly from stranger men on the internet. I see. Okay. And I once hear you say that 2030 is the year where we will all be slaves. Why is that? Yeah, it's because of Agenda 2030. Yeah. Now, there are ways to avoid that. You just got to go into certain places that are not part of the agenda. This is mainly listen, the Agenda 2030 um, is mostly focused on once again Western Europe and the United States and Canada. So if you have locations outside of that, you're not gonna be part of that much. You know, what are those places, Frank? We all go to Asia. I mean that's what's left. When you take Western Europe and America and Canada away, those are the places. Southeast Asia is pretty neat. There are many places. You see what I mean? It's just that the reputation of a lot of places is not good, but it's different. We're dealing with reputations that have been built up, or essentially the stereotypes that we deal with were true in the last century, 70s, 80s, 90s, or something like that. But things have changed. The world is different. The world's very different. You know, the world is very different. Where would you go if you had to go right now? Top three places. I would go to Dubai. Yeah, you're right. United Arab Emirates. Um, Number two, Singapore. But I don't think I could deal with the weather, the climate in Singapore. You know, and Cyprus. Cyprus is also a great place. Maybe Monaco. Monaco is also a good place. I'll go there. In terms of living there, or basically having my main residency. Yeah, main residency in those three locations is probably a good idea. Great place, absolutely. Yeah, Monaco is more like I don't know. Maybe Nice. Nah, let's keep it at that. I can give you the three locations that I like. All right. How to get rid of this idea of wanting to control every woman I have established a connection with. By understanding that it is not your job to control her, it's your job to control yourself. Listen, women are the gatekeepers to sex, right? So by them choosing you, they become a representation of nature. Your job is to compete. And as you compete, she will pick the winner. You can trust one thing, okay? You can trust one thing. Women will pick winners, okay? There's this interesting quote. I don't know who said it. Maybe Sartre or whatever. Sartre is a philosopher, French philosopher. And he said, I believe he said, I believe him. He said that women love losers, but they cheat on them with the winners. So as men, we are in competition um, for the love of females to a large extent, right? I mean, women are the spoils of war, if you will. Okay, so we go through this struggle, and when we win, part of it is that the women love us, want to be with us, right? It's not that they love us; they love what we can do for them, and we have proven our evolutionary fitness, and that's what they find attractive. Boom, right? It's like every movie, right? The hero in the end gets the girl because he slayed the monster, right? That's our life. We go through struggles, we go through our hero's journey, and then we kill the monster, and in the end, we get the girl, right? So every man is living on that timeline. So don't control women. Be a winner. It's that simple. Don't control women can smell that. They can smell winners. Do you get it? You don't have to do anything to control her. You have to do something to be a winner. You're not competing with her. You're competing with yourself. In the past, it was. I mean, when we were still living in a jungle, we had to change the external world. You see what I mean? We had to fight animals. We have to change the environment in order to conquer it. Right now, this day and age, we have to conquer ourselves. We have to conquer our own mind. We have to deal with our own issues. We have to become strong internally. So we become of value to the world. And as we become of value to the world, we will be rewarded with everything. So first you conquer yourself. As you conquer yourself, you develop value. And as you have value, you will then exchange that with the world and you will be rewarded with everything. You will be rewarded with respect. You will be rewarded with money. You will be rewarded with status. And you will be rewarded with women. That's what all men want: status, uh, money, respect, and women. But it only happens once you conquer yourself. So forget about controlling women. If you deserve them, you will have them. If you don't deserve them, then you don't have them. This is very hard to accept for a lot of people, man. For men, that's very hard to accept. But if you don't deserve a woman, there's nothing you can do to get her or to make her love you or something like that. Controlling her is not going to get you her love. You get what I mean? The only thing that's going to get you women and it's going to make them want you is work on yourself. The high level ones, the high level women. Mind you, I'm always talking about high level women and high level men here. Okay? I'm not talking about the general population. They're completely not interesting. But you also have to understand that there's something going on in nature. If you're high value, you will attract the beautiful women. If you're low value, you will attract those women. And the how do I put it? The best men and the best women always find each other. It's like a compass. It's like an invisible magnetic connection that they have. The most powerful men will be with the most beautiful women. Guaranteed. It's always been like that. It will be like that forever. So the two polarities find each other. And the same happens lower on the totem pole. Let's say second class men will find second class women and they will attract each other and they will have second grade kids. And then you have third grade men, you have third grade women, and they attract each other, and then you will have a bunch of trash people as babies, right? And it goes all the way down to the human trash, right? But at the end of the day, you will always attract what you are. So you got to work on yourself, and then you will get the high quality women. I do so much self work. I love working on me, but I know I still attract weird men. I guess I'm weird too. Well, for women, the job is different. Like obviously, for a woman, it's mostly her femininity and her beauty. Okay, so if you want to attract the highest value guy that you can, the best way to do that is to just get into the best shape that you possibly can. Invest in some makeup and some, you know. I mean, that's what I would recommend. And I don't even know what you want. What do you want in a man? Maybe you're too masculine for those boys out there. Yeah. Um, let's see. Frank, how do you prevent getting negative attachments to the energy body when sleeping around with random women? I don't think you can prevent that, to be honest. When I sleep with a woman and the energy is not good, I don't feel like myself for a couple of days. So the energy effect is just there. It's Having sex with someone is a very intimate, energetic connection, you know. So I don't think you can completely prevent that. Yeah, it's not worth it. I'm starting to cut out some of from my life, but still, this urge to control is something I need to work on. Okay. Hey, what advice would you give if I have constant negative thought pattern popping up? I've rewired past programming, just that this one is quite time sensitive. Thanks, man. Time sensitive. There's nobody on this planet that doesn't have a majority of negative thoughts, my friend. Why? Because that's how your brain is wired. Okay. It's just how you respond to these negative thought patterns. What do I mean by that? We're tuned in into the negative because that's for our survival. It's important for our survival. Imagine a person that is only seeing the positive in things. That person would be dead very, very soon, especially in nature. Yeah. So your brain is built to solve problems and to be tuned in into what's not right and what could be dangerous and what is fear, like things that create fear and worry. That's how you're built. So the best way to deal with that, because everybody has it, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with anxiety. There's nothing wrong with not always being happy. In fact, if you're always happy, you are insane. 100%. So stop expecting to live your life like a child that is constantly in bliss. You're not 5 years old anymore. You're an adult. Adulthood is not fun. It's for the most part responsibility and work. You have been raised on a fantasy, maybe Hollywood movies or something like that, that tell you that life is exciting and always happy ends are ensured. My friend, that's not real. That is not the real world. The real world is tough. The real world is scary. The real world doesn't always have a happy end. The real world is not fair either. The real world is not fair. In fact, I read something about this today. Very interesting. Very interesting. somebody, I think the rules of life by Bill Gates. Hold on, let me read you this. Hold on. This is what Bill Gates. Um, 1 second. Bill Gates put this into an email to his old school. Rules of life. Bill Gates. Yeah. So Bill Gates wrote down 11 rules to life that you will never learn in school. All right. Rule number 1: life is not fair. Get used to it. Okay? You might think about Bill Gates whatever you want, but we can all agree on the fact that this guy must know something about the world and about life to attain the success that he had, right? He's more successful than you and me, right? So it might be worth listening to him. So rule number one, life is not fair, get used to it. Rule number 2, the world does not care about your self-esteem. The world will expect you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. Rule number 3, you will not make $100,000 straight out of school. You won't be a vice president with a car phone until you earn both. Okay. Hashtag movies. All right. Rule number 4, if you think your teacher is tough, wait till you get a boss. Rule number 5, flipping burgers is not below your dignity. Your grandparents had a different word for burger flipping. They called it opportunity. Rule number 6, if you mess up, it's not your parents' fault, so don't whine about your mistakes, learn from them. Rule number 7, before you were born, your parents weren't as boring as they are now. They got that way by paying your bills, cleaning your clothes, and listening to your talk about how cool you thought you were. So before you save the rainforest from the parasites of your parents' generation, try tidying your bedroom. Rule number 8, your school may have done away with winners and losers, but life has not. In some schools, they have abolished failing grades, I think is what that's supposed to mean. And they'll give you as many times as you want to get the right answer. This doesn't bear the slightest resemblance to anything in real life. Rule number 9, life is not divided into semesters. You don't get summers off, and very few employers are interested in helping you find yourself. Do that on your own time. Rule number 10, television is not real life. In real life, people have to leave a coffee shop and go to jobs. Rule number 11, be nice to nerds. Chances are you'll end up working for one. So, why do you expect to be happy and not have negative thoughts? And why do you let your thoughts control you so much? You whip your mind into action. That's what you do. Control your mind, control your imagination, control your thoughts. Don't put so much value on them. So you have negative thought patterns popping up, it doesn't matter. You're still going to do what you needed to do. You know? So you might have too much time analyzing yourself. You see what I mean? Which means that you don't have enough to do. So the problem is usually, and that's something that I've seen many times. It's not that people have too much to do. In fact, your to-do list is too empty. Put more things onto your to-do list. That will prevent you from getting stuck somewhere. You have to be busy all the time. Stay busy, stay busy, stay busy all the time. Otherwise, this brain that you have, this mind that you have, is going to turn against you. Fuck a vacation. Who needs vacations? Who needs vacations? Losers. If you go on a vacation, have a business deal, have a business meeting going on during that vacation. What the fuck are you gonna do? Drink cocktails? That's women's stuff. Do you get it? It's like chilling, just hanging out. That's for females, my friend. That's for women. Because then they can chit chat and talk shit. And that's cool, that's fine. That's what they love to do. But if you're a man and you just want to hang out and chit chat and not do something productive, you're a pussy, a loser. You are, for sure. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, hang out with your friends and just Be busy. Get busy. Do something. Do something. Always dropping some gems. Cheers. Yeah, there you go. See, I'm up almost 18 hours. I had a full day. I've been to the gym and I did some yoga. Today I was training chest, triceps, and stuff. Tomorrow I'm going to do legs. This is my 18th hour on the today. I'm still working. And after this, I'm still going to keep going because I got to talk to one of my models from my modeling agency. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to give instructions, create plans, and then I'm going to fall asleep reading. So I'm going to have like a 20-hour day today. Then I'm going to sleep, maybe like 6 hours, and then I'm going to do the same fucking thing again. Same fucking thing again. You know? And I feel good doing that. And no, I'm not going to lay down and start jerking off like most of you guys would do. I bet you most of you guys are probably going to watch porn. You probably fall asleep watching some fucking porno on your phone jerking off, right? Jerking off into a tissue. Pathetic, right? Okay. Maybe you're too masculine for those boys out there. Frank, do you do polyphasic sleeping? I think it's that's spelled wrong. I don't know what that is, my friend. Polyphasic sleeping. No, man. I do the old school thing. I sleep. I just close my eyes and I fall asleep. That's how I do it. Polyphasic sleep. You know, it's funny. That, before you can sell something, you have to create the demand, right? So I wonder if there's like a polyphasic or I wonder if there's like a new pillow out there that you can order on Amazon. It's like a polyphasic sleep supply or something like that. You know, maybe there's a store out there. Here's a here's a great business process, my friends. Just throw out some, just make up um, new words for different things, okay, and then you know, create some sort of an instrument that helps that process. Because people love spending money. They're going to spend it on anything. Did you guys know that statistically speaking, drooling happens in 4 phases? And in order to prevent um, early death, you must drool more often. You know, it releases a lot of stress hormones, such as cortisol and others. So drooling is actually very, very healthy. Healthy, and I have this new device. It's not. It's more a new drink than a device, and it helps you drool a lot. Okay, it's called um, Liquid. Never mind. That's probably not the best ad, but I could come up with one. Trust me. You know. Or listen, I would take an empty bottle and sell dehydrated water. How about that? And the description is going to be empty into a pot of water, stir until it's until it's until it's solved, and then serve cold. I mean, you're laughing, guys. You see, but do you know what a lot of corporations do to hide inflation? I mean, if you're observant, and a lot of you guys should be observant. You know what's happening in the last couple of years? Inflation has gone through the roof, right? So, what a lot of, let's say, potato chips manufacturers, for instance, have been doing is they have just increased the empty space inside of the bags. You see, so it's still the same size. It costs the same, so you don't notice the inflation, but they just reduce the amount that's in there. So they just increased the amount of air and reduced the amount of actual product, and they sell it to you for the same price. You know, that's what inflation does. They're filling up the chicken with salt water to make them heavier. So you don't notice that inflation is actually eating away your stuff. You get less for your dollars, but you don't see it because they just fool you. They sell you dehydrated water. You get it? What I mean? You get what I mean? They sell you dehydrated water. You think this is a joke, right? I made a joke about dehydrated water. Okay, they didn't sell dehydrated water yet, but this is like a nice analogy of what they're actually doing. You see what I mean? And you know how long this is going to happen? This is going to happen until normal people are not going to be able to afford food anymore. And then shit hits the fan. You don't believe me? It's okay, Mark. I mean, just forget what Frank said. It's fine. You don't need to know about this stuff, right? It's not important. It's not important. Well, you better get some assets, guys. You better get some assets, or you're gonna be fucked. 50 cents is 85 cents. Okay. Frank, is your new path working application closed? No, no. I mean, until we start, which is tomorrow, you can still join. The path working is going to be 4 months. Okay, 4 months. I still have somebody who said he's going to be able to get the money till Sunday. We're going to start Saturday, so he's going to be a little bit late. But yeah, I mean, if he can pay, um, he can come on. You know, as I say, as usual. Thank God for passports. What's up, Frank? Good to catch your life. What's up, Ivalens? How's it going? All right. About sleeping with women, do you create a link with them spiritually? I heard it might create a karma attachment, wanted to come back, incarnating, etc. What about insanely happy, blissful bodhisattva? Um, not gonna talk about that. Whole India loves you. What's up? That's good. That's good. I've never been to India. Maybe I should visit. All of India. Well, that would be cool, man. If all of India loved me, that's like more than a billion people, right? That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. Why was that measured? What was what measured? The dollar store is 125 now. Yeah. What would be considered a good asset? Something that throws off yield. Yeah, something that throws off yield. Um, I like liquid assets. I mean, every asset has advantages and disadvantages. I mean, there's usually a connection between risk or a positive correlation between risk and liquidity. So the more liquid the asset, the more risk you will have in terms of price, or the more volatile it's going to be. Right. But with something like hard assets, you have the problem that you're usually going to have, low yields, but it's safe and it's super hard to sell it. I mean, compare compare selling and buying a stock to selling and buying a property. Now, what I like is buying businesses, which is kind of like in between, because in a sense it's like real estate, but on the other hand, it's like you're buying. an asset with a very very high upside. I mean, people say that real estate has an upside. You can improve the property value and shit like that. There's no comparison. If you got a good business, you can increase that a lot. Especially if you buy multiple businesses and then you create synergistic effects. You know, you can make a lot of money really fast. When you look into my money magic mastery program, okay, somebody talked about Rolexes here. I mean, at the end of the day, there are a lot of things, yeah, but money equals control. You will be able to make money in spaces and places where you have knowledge, expertise. That's why people that are smart, they stay in their lane. You got to understand your circle of competence. So I used to work as a financial advisor. That's why I know stocks. I understand that stuff. That's why I stay there. And buying businesses is nothing but buying stocks. It's just when you analyze a stock, you're looking at it as if you would buy the entire company. You see. So the bottom line is knowledge equal or money equals control. Control equals knowledge. The more you know about something, the better or the more control you have over it. See. So the number one thing is you have to educate yourself on things. You know, buying business that have to be a lot of money. I think I saw an ad somewhere, a guy teaching how to buy companies. You never need. Like, I have a question for you, my friend. When Elon Musk said he's gonna buy Twitter, do you think he used his own money or wanted to use his own money? The richest people um, buy massive businesses, and they could afford to buy them, but they never use their own money. What's Listen? What you need is connections. You don't need money. Money is fantasy, anyways, bro. Money is not even a real thing. From a certain point onwards, money is not connected to any type of physical labor that you do at all. It's literally fantasy. Okay, let me explain this real quick. Okay, let's say you do roll-ups. Okay, a roll-up means you roll up multiple companies in one and then sell it at a higher valuation, right? And you do that exactly because you can demand a higher valuation for a whole lot of companies versus a smaller company. Why? Because now you have bigger market share, which allows you to demand lower prices. It also you know it gives you all kinds of different leverage. Right? So let's say you have one company that on its own costs 5 million. You can sell that 5 million company, $5 million company, depending on what industry it's in. You can demand a multiple of, let's say, 3 to 5. Yeah. Let's say you buy 5 of those that are in the same industry or in similar industries. Now you got 25 million, right? 5 times 25. However, since they're all in the same industry, you can create synergistic effects. How you change operations around where, let's say, every one of those companies has a sales department. You change that where it's only one sales department now. Boom, you save costs. You increased operations. You can now demand different prices from suppliers because you're taking larger amounts in, or you're buying larger amounts from them, so you can ask for discounts and many other things. You see what I mean? So many different things that you do. Plus, your there are different factors on how you value a company, and one of them is the economic amount. Sorry, economic moat. Economic moat now is also bigger because the bigger your market share, the harder it is for competition to come in. You should study something called the five forces of Porter, or Porter's five forces, which is one model It's a theoretic model that allows you to value um, essentially the competitiveness of a company. Yeah, Porter's five model. Uh, Harvard professor out there, really good stuff. So you use a lot of things to evaluate the company. The bigger, the better. This means that you remember you could for the small company you could sell it at a multiple of 3 to 5. This bigger company you're going to be easily able to sell at a multiple of 10 to 20. Right now you had to have leverage of 25 million to buy those. But after those operations have been improved, you now can claim multiples of 10 to 20. You see what I mean? So now you sell it for let's say 250 million, but the leverage that you had are 25. What's the difference? 250 million minus 25. You have 225 in profit there, right? Now, you're not going to do that without investors because otherwise you'd be stupid. Nobody does that without investors, right? But you can do leverage buyouts, you can do all kinds of other things, and this means that um, you can take home nice percentages. 5% of 250 million or 225 million. It's a lot of money. You see what I mean? So it's it's about knowledge, it's about context, and it's about just navigating in an intelligent way. You got to be smart. That's really what it is. It has very little to do with your physical work, you see, or having money. Money is out there. There's always somebody that has money. They need a good deal. And when you get a good deal, money's going to come. It's not a problem. The hardest thing is to have your first deal done. Yeah. Same with everything. Your first property, first this and that and the other. I'm not a big real estate guy. I've done real estate stuff. I've flipped real estate, but I'm not that much into real estate. I'm more like a business buying guy, you know. And the reason for that is because I come from stocks. So you have to have your expertise and you stay with it. I believe in specialization because here's the thing, man. There's this one saying that wealth is created through focusing, through specialization, and it's preserved through diversification. So what you do is you make a lot of money in one field or through one asset class, and then you diversify. So once you got the profits, you then go into different asset classes and spread it around because, yeah, we have economic cycles, so one industry is going to do better than another, depending on what time frame we're in, right? But that's for later. So the first thing is you need to educate yourself, and then number two, understand that money is not the problem. You got to understand how to make deals happen. Deal making is psychology for the most part. So I put this all in the Money Magic Mastery course. For instance, I was talking about why manners matter, right? A lot of people these days are like, oh, I don't care, like they're like they have piercings in their faces and all this shit, and they don't even know how to talk. This stuff matters. Money is trust. What looks more trustworthy? A person, a guy with a nice haircut in a suit, speaking in a sophisticated manner, or a guy in, let's say, a T-shirt that costs like $5, um, that is fat, nasty, overweight, doesn't take care of his personal hygiene, like nasty nails. And who would you trust with your money? You see what I mean? So this is also a part. You got to look the part too. If you want to be able to make deals, you got to look the part. You got to be able to talk the part. You know, this attracts money. There's a reason why people wear a certain style. You see what I mean? So just be aware of that, man. There's a lot that I could say here, but you got to be a professional. Just be a professional, man. Just be a fucking man. Just be a man. And that should tell you everything you have to know. Will this be included in your new coaching? Because I'm down for this one. No. If you want to learn that, do you know how much money I pay to learn this stuff, bro? No, I'm not going to put this into the to the coaching. I'm not going to put this into the coaching. Namely, because it takes a long time. You know, and this is not the place for it. I don't think so. Plus, I mean, if I would have to listen, this is not worth my time. I'm not gonna teach that. I'm really not gonna teach it. Anything that I can make triple that or 5 times that with a one deal that I make myself. You see, how do you go about finding people who would buy a company from you? I guess I still have to work on my business skills. Yeah, you need business skills, but at the end of the day, you could also overdo it. You know, you're gonna learn the most stuff by doing things actually. You know, so you know, get some research, get your research on, read some books. I think this is the biggest problem that people have. People don't read and study. People don't read and study. If you don't have a daily segment of like 2 hours of focused study, and that's a minimum, where you read and study courses, 2 hours, and don't do anything else. Don't get distracted. Stay focused for 2 hours minimum. You have no chance because you're competing with everybody out there. You're competing with others, and this accumulates. They will just know more. They will know more than you. So you gotta fucking study and learn things, and then you gotta also put it into practice. So you don't have to understand everything before you actually put it into practice, but you have to have a decent understanding of what you're doing. Frank, with the website I'm building, with which entry should I choose for guidance whom I have pacts with? Which entity should I choose for guidance whom I have pacts with? Well, it depends on what topic that website's for. Like, what is the end result that you're achieving with it? You mentioned fitness. I'm in a coaching business, strength training for MMA amateurs and pros, power building for men, and glute building for women. Nice. Works quite well, but now learning more about marketing. Maybe I'll hire someone, but still saving up. What would be in the coaching? Mind mastery sounds quite exciting too. Well, like I said, it's about how to create location independent businesses, um, which includes everything from like it's essentially the process of creating a business. Where business is a science. It's not something that happens randomly. It's actually broken down to a science. The same with marketing. It's not random. It's science. The same with sales. It's not random. There's a science behind it. So you have to understand the principles. See, this is, I think, the problem where there are millions of videos out there that talk about sales, but those videos themselves are sales pitches. See? So it's very hard to find a resource that actually teaches you the principles of selling, principles of marketing. You know? And when another problem is that when people talk about sales, they actually mean pitching. There's a difference between pitching something and selling something. And it's the same with the principles that make it possible to create an online business. It's not about the techniques. And more than anything else, my friend, it's about the foundations of how you conduct yourself and how you do your life. Because everybody wants a money printing machine. Everybody wants a money printing machine. And listen, almost every business model that you will have heard of works. It does work. all the courses that you have bought, they do work. All the funnels that you try to create, they do work. But the problem is the person implementing those stuff. It's the person plugging themselves into the system. Once again, everybody wants a money printing machine. I don't know if you ever saw a money printing machine, or you maybe visited one in a museum, because they're of course not used anymore, right? But a money printing machine is fucking heavy. All right, it's a fucking huge thing. It would require a lot of maintenance, a lot of electricity. It's got to be cleaned all the time. Like a lot of maintenance. Plus, it's fucking heavy. So if none of those things are in place, I could give you a money printing machine, but you couldn't make use of it. And that's what's happening with a lot of the courses out there, with a lot of the knowledge that's being shared on YouTube. So people don't have the foundation, you see, the entrepreneurial mindset and the entrepreneurial way of living. That's what's missing. So what you're going to learn a lot is mindsets, how to think correctly. Yeah. And that's not trivial. It's actually the most fundamental thing, you know. How do you locate a market? How do you locate a niche? How do you take on a view that gets you the results that you want? Because a mindset is nothing but the perspective that we choose to take and then look at things around us. And there's a correct way of looking at things, and there's an incorrect way of looking at things. You know, depending on what results we want. So I tell you some of the common problems that people have. They don't understand the Pareto principle, 80-20. They don't know how to apply that. So they waste their energy and never get the results done. They don't know how to prioritize. Yeah. They don't know how to prioritize what to do, what not to do. They don't understand the flaws that their mind has. So they're fooled by their own mind. Logical fallacies, cognitive biases. They don't know how to use those to their advantage, because you can use them to advantage. They can also harm you and hurt you and hold you back. So you got to understand how to prevent yourself from falling into those traps. Another point when it comes to mindsets, you got to understand money and what that actually is. You got to understand how value is created, how to provide value. You got to understand what to do with this energy that we call money. You know, there's so many different things that will be part of this coaching and are actually needed. They're the things that you need. And of course, on top of that, then you will also learn skills. It's like I said, business is a science. It's broken down to a science. When you follow a certain sequence of actions and do the steps in the right way, it's literally guaranteed that you will make money. But the problem is that there are so many things that could go wrong, or that you could do wrong, that most people still can't get it done. We all know that 99% of all businesses fail, right? So it can't be that easy. It is simple but not easy. Let's put it like that. It's simple but not easy. Yep, sales pitches know something about that. Yeah. Okay, guys. So um, I'm gonna continue for a couple more minutes. Yeah. So the afterlife path working is starting tomorrow. Okay. You can still sign up for it. Um, Make sure that you're there if you can. I mean, sorry, if you can make it, make sure that you come on and take part in it because it's going to change your life. I guarantee that. And who wants to miss out on this? It's literally a unique thing. Like, where has this ever happened? Where will you ever be able to learn about this again? Like, never. There's zero chances. So you should take advantage of it for sure. If not, I mean, you know, what can I say? What can I say? But don't blame me. Don't blame me. Do I look tired? Oh, yeah. Uh, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up now. So, like I said, if you can in any way, shape, or form, come onto this path working, right? And if you miss out on it, goddamn, it would be sad. I would be really sad um, for you. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Be well, guys. Bye bye.